Laura and I love to have a cup of coffee and talk about conspiracy theories. That's our thing. We get along so well. Laura's been coming here quite some time for her waxing. You would have seen her on an older season of ours getting her makeup done. We've tried to grow her brows out as much as we could over these past few years, but they're just not moving any more than they have been. So we decided to do microblading on Laura. That way she can get a fuller brow and some beautiful definition going, because I really want to improve her shape and stop her from filling them in every morning.
My name's Laura and I'm an advertising marketing manager. Yes, I have. I've known Michael for probably about 2.5 years now. I've been coming in, getting my brows reshaped, waxed. He's been working on removing my sperm brows, which is how I first met him, and we've been looking at getting my brows tattooed for a while now, so it's about time. How am I feeling about today's treatment? I'm excited and I'm nervous. I've wanted fabulous shaped brows like you see on Instagram for ages now. I've known Michael for 3 years. He's been waxing my brows and doing treatments and stuff for me, so no doubt he'll do a fabulous job. And there's no one else I'd trust except Michael with my brow tattooing. So unfortunately, like I said, I wanted to get my brows tattooed for a while, but I had to put it off because I've been having some health problems. So unfortunately, I'm in the category of women that suffers from both endometriosis and polycystic ovary syndrome. It's sort of been running a bit rampant lately, so I'm in that category of 1 in 10 with endometriosis, 1 in 5 with polycystic ovaries. It's tough because I'm not going to tell you my age, but I'm of the age where I'm considering having kids, and yeah, I'm being told that it's highly unlikely that that'll be possible. It makes you feel like less of a person or half a person. So my partner, yeah, he's been really good. I'm going to try not to cry. It's hard for him. He wants to have kids. He's always said he's wanted to have kids. So it was a really hard conversation when I sat down with him mid-20s and said, hey, look, this is what I am. I'm half a person pretty much. I don't know if I'm ever going to have kids, and it looks highly unlikely. You're in your 20s, you don't want to be having those conversations when you first start dating someone, but you have to. But he's been really solid through all of it. He's been there in the good days, and he's been there in the bad days where I'm literally doubled over, can't walk, and he's had to literally pick me up off the floor, put me in the car and take me to hospital. So I feel very lucky and very blessed to have my partner in my life. Thankfully, I've got a fantastic doctor who believes me when I go in pain, and he understands what I'm going through. Sadly, there's plenty of women in the world who go to their doctors in pain and they're told that they're making it up, that it's fake, just to deal with it. It's normal menstrual cycle and stuff like that, and it's not. So it's not easy for me to talk about, but I encourage women, and if there's anyone out there watching that has trouble every month with their period cycle, and if they're in pain, if your doctor doesn't believe you, go and find someone that does. Not being fertile, having cysts that make pap smears come back as stage 1 cancer, being in pain every single month where you're missing work, you're doubling over in pain. When cysts rupture, they bleed internally. That's not normal. So unfortunately, like I said, there's a lot of backwards doctors that don't believe it. If you know something's wrong with your body, you keep finding someone that believes you. There are days where I'd like to consider myself a pretty strong person, and I can take whatever life throws at me. But there are days where it's all too much, and I just want to crawl under the blanket and cry. There are days you just want to give up. But there are days where you think to yourself, no, and I'm going to go through this. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to tell people what's wrong with me, and people need a voice, and if I have to be that voice and put myself out there, then so be it. Like, it's kind of like your choice of being a woman's being taken away from you. And I've been told, they're like, oh, well, if you want to, you can just have your uterus and your ovaries removed and that'll get rid of the problem. I'm like, yeah, but that also gets rid of my chance of having kids. They say it's a lucky country. Not necessarily if you're a woman in Australia and you've got medical conditions. As a woman, I would love that opportunity to have kids, but you're kind of made to feel like a criminal if you've got a medical condition that prevents you from doing so. So, in other countries, America, for example, if a woman can't carry her own child, but she's got healthy eggs, her and her partner can go find a surrogate. Major case of this was Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. She had a couple of kids naturally, couldn't have any more, so she got a surrogate, basically just using an oven to have her child. That's illegal in Australia. And that's just messed up. Then there's the option of adoption. I'm fine. I've got, I'd like to think I'm a perfectly sane person. I work, got a good income, partner works, good income, we've got properties, we've got investments, we're two normal people. But the amount of loopholes and hoops that we would have to jump through to adopt a child is ridiculous, not to even mention the financial cost. And that sort of stuff is heartbreaking. And then there's the option of IVF, which again costs an absolute fortune. You kind of look at that as a woman and it feels really tough. You kind of feel like you're on your own, and you feel victimised. You feel like you're the criminal. And I don't like to discriminate or pick on people, but you see junkies with kids in tow. It's so tough. It's so tough seeing people out there on, getting support and gosh, they're rorting the system for crying out loud. Everyone knows that it happens. You see people out there that literally use their kids as a mechanism to get funding. They get single parent and they get child support and this and that. And yeah, that's all well and good if you're using it for the child. But if you're using it to feed your own habits or your own shopping sprees or your own selfish indulgence, that's not fair. I don't want anything from the government. I don't want handouts. I've never had handouts. But, to turn around, like I said, this fertility problem, reproductive issues, it's real. It's happening. I genuinely want to have kids because I absolutely adore kids, and I think it would be amazing to be a mother, and yet I'm the one that gets treated like a criminal because I've got medical conditions that I was born with and I can't do anything about that.